America is all that stands between the utter darkness of this whole planet and really the light that comes from God. And I'm not going to let it go without a lot of yelling from me. I mean, look what I got from it.
Yeah.
But as long as I'm here, I'll be fighting.
Welcome to Going Rogue with Lara, Logan. My guest this week is the formidable and incomparable and outrageously funny Roseanne Barr, who is and has become an enduring symbol of courage in this country. Her bravery to speak out, the love that she inspires, the loyalty that people feel towards her. I feel that. Roseanne, you are extraordinary in every way, smart and consistent and true, always to yourself. I mean, you are a national treasure. I hope that Trump gives you the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That would be a good one.
Well, he should. I mean, really. He should, but, I think that the Trump administration, people around him, they regard me as a bit of a loose cannon, so I don't expect any of that. But
well, from one loose cannon to another.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Whoops.
I think by loose cannon, what they mean is uncontrollable, right?
Well, I kind of am uncontrollable. I mean, sometimes I even go, what are you doing to myself? Like, get it together.
And then what happens right after that?
I'm like, why did I do that? I'm like, I told myself not to do that, and then I did.
Went and did it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you ever do that you would undo, if you could?
Oh, my God, there's so many things. But then, when you sit there and think about, I shouldn't have done this and I shouldn't have done that, and then you look at your life and how it's turned out, you go, well, I can't argue with this and the way it's turned out. It's turned out so beautifully, so maybe nothing, because even though it was bad, boy, did I learn something, and I learned to process things differently than I would have had I not fallen in that hole and had to dig myself out.
Yes.
And had I not been refined by fire.
Yes.
So I guess nothing. Maybe I would have stayed on a diet longer.
Just one diet.
Yeah, and actually
for longer than a day.
Yeah, and actually after I lost the weight, stay at the goal weight and not, go up and down so much. That's the one thing I wish I had stayed with.
You remember that feeling when you're looking at your wardrobe and you're tossing out all your fat clothes and you're telling yourself, oh, I don't need this. I'm never going to wear that again.
I'm never going to go up that far again.
And then a short time later.
You doubled it.
You're like, what happened to my fat pants?
Yeah.
I should never have given those away.
That loss of self-control thing with food and other things, but mostly food. I wish I could have gotten a better and sooner handle on that, because it was key to everything, really, when I look back, because everything really is about self-control.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. And it colors everything else. And I did not learn that my war with food was actually the war with my body, which was actually the war with my emotions, which was actually losing control over my body, which was actually not having my mind in balance and losing control of my emotions, which was actually not really walking in the best of faith where I am most happy. So it's like a war on myself.
What do you think is your most out of control emotional moment? Can you rank them?
Oh, oh my God, there's so many, thousands of, too many to, reacting in violence, which thank God, every time I say this, There's always every time I get feeling real good about myself.
Yeah.
I always
like
have
that's behind me now.
Well, I can never say that, but every time I say I have had a period of great sobriety from my temper and my loss of control over anger, the very next day or next hour, something flips me. But
I know you get really mad and yell.
Yeah, not just yell.
Throw something.
Yeah, throwing something. I'm real good at that, man. I got real good aim and a good arm and a lot of strength. And throwing things at former husbands, I regret all that because, man, that set off a lot of bad things. And, I saw it in my house as a kid. Both my parents got, that level of anger. And so did my grandparents. The whole thing, it's just biological. And
generational.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then right after you do it, my God, you hate yourself.
Yes, you do.
And then you just go into depression over self-hate. This is the big cycle of not being able to have self-control. And it's been a hard one.
Yes. A lifetime, really, right?
And then I went into, just taking it into, I ought to go in there. And I was like, well, at least you're just saying it. But even that, and then you despise yourself for even saying those words.
Well, words can be so powerful.
Words are the most powerful thing that people
Well, think about the word,
yeah.
right? I mean, God, how does God live among us? With his word.
Right.
If you want to know what God thinks, you don't have to go to another person. You can actually go to his word.
Right.
So if you think about it, the word is really nothing more powerful than that.
Yeah, and there's nothing more powerful than the words we speak. And the words we speak in anger and hatred are real powerful, too.
I'm guilty. Yeah. You're making me confess my sins.
I think all women are guilty. Well, all humans. But women are really guilty of it, and we have amnesia for our mentalism. I remember that, just having quick amnesia. Well, I lost control. But just saying I lost control or letting it fly off you is symptomatic of not dealing with it.
Well,
because it's deep work.
So the problem is once it's out there, you can't take it back. And even if you say, I'm sorry, I was wrong because I learned how to do that. And it's been really a big thing in my life. It's helped me enormously knowing how to do that. But it doesn't undo it. You can't
still
take
there,
back
the
that
stain
damage,
of it,
right?
The stain of what you say to another.
Yeah.
They can't unhear it, and it colors the way they feel about you. It ruins their loyalty.
Or about themselves.
Yeah, it ruins their loyalty, their love, and their trust for you.
It hurts them.
Yeah, and that happens to your children, your family members.
Yeah, well, you especially see it with your children because you really only have one mother and one father, right? So you can say it doesn't matter, or you can turn away, you can become distant, whatever. But you cannot. That bond is what it is.
Yeah, and then you can work a lifetime to make amends, and it still doesn't take it away.
No,
so it's
hard.
like irrefutable words.
Yeah,
and that comes from a loss of self-control, which that comes from not being able to take having no power of self-reflection.
Yes.
And that's a deep, painful work,
Yes.
I think, the older you live, the more you can take account of yourself. But, when you're a young mother, and then you're older, you're like, man, I do regret angry words.
Sure.
Very much.
Sure. Well, you've been married how many times? 4 times?
10 or 11. A lot. I forget.
And that's tumultuous in itself.
Oh, yeah. Well,
right?
I love the drama. I loved I love being in dramatic situations because, it allowed me to be angry and act out. Yes. And I was really addicted to that. I grew up that way, and I saw it, and it was like, wow, you get to be a huge drama queen when somebody pushes your buttons or, activates your self-hatred.
Yes.
Oh, you get to act it out on the world and be real dramatic, get snide, witty snap sayings,
And you're the victim, right?
Yes, and you get to come from the victim place.
Of moral self-righteousness.
Yes, I call it the self-righteous gene is activated, and then you have absolutely it's nothing you do is your fault.
No. Once you activate that gene, it's like a get-out-of-jail-free card for everything.
Yeah, and then you're just left with grotesque self-loathing that activates the next situation that you're out there looking for. What did you say? You said that when we all know you're supposed to say this. I have never been so insulted in my life, which is all just victim talk that allows you to activate your grotesque drama on the whole world. In my case, it was inflict my obesity on the world.
I see.
Because I had no way of taking self-reflection. I couldn't look in the mirror. I didn't see myself. I saw somebody in that mirror who so many people had done things to and needed to fight and get even and even the score and bring justice to those people like me who had been hurt, instead of going, wow, I can really grow. I can learn and I can grow and I can take account and I can improve. I never thought any of that. I wanted to stay in the shit and be real dramatic with it.
That's a very interesting image of looking in the mirror and not actually seeing yourself. Like,
no.
I didn't have that. I was lucky because I was, was so loved by my parents and my brother and sister and growing up. And even though, we had a lot of drama in our family too, my family broke up when we were little and all the rest of it. But I always saw myself. I didn't understand why people couldn't see me. Because I got treated a certain way because of how I looked and perceptions people had about me. But I was like, but that's not who I am. How can, I've been called a diva all my life. And I was like, I couldn't be less of a diva if I tried. You know what I mean? I've sort of lain on the ground and let people walk on me in order to accommodate other people along the way. My boss told me once at 60 Minutes, you don't want to be like this correspondent. Nobody wants to work with that person. You want to be the person everyone works with. So there I am tying myself into one knot after another, trying to be the person that everybody wants to work with and still get called a diva for my trouble.
Well, mine was kind of like that too. I was like, I was the kind of person with a really long fuse that lets everybody walk over them because I really wanted to be admired, liked, and appreciated, which I never was. But I stored the hurt and couldn't believe that people didn't see that I gave up money, that I gave up things for other people. And then the first thing that went wrong, they blamed me. And I couldn't, and that fueled my rage. I would be like, I'd take so much until I couldn't take any more, and then I'd explode. And then they go, what a bitch. But the whole thing was that I never knew how to be assertive at every step, going, I don't appreciate, this right here isn't working for me. That would be the assertive way. I go, don't worry about it, or say nothing. And then it would increase and increase until I would just go crazy, and they'd go, boy, she's crazy. But they never, when you're working in, like a lot of people that are in entertainment or news or any of this stuff that goes on the screen are narcissists. And they are attracted to creative people, and they're vampiric. They steal your energy, your time. And they're like, we're going to get credit for her work. We're going to do this.
They suck the life out of you.
They do suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
And they never feel bad about it. And as long as you take it, they go, oh, good, she didn't notice that. I don't know what they think. It's not like us.
They don't even consider you.
No.
No. It doesn't even cross their mind. They couldn't care less.
No, they couldn't care less.
No.
And you're perpetually hurt and feel victimized until you just explode. But I learned that all along you should say, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me. See, I wouldn't say, this is my show and you're my employee and you work for me. Calmly, that would be the assertive way.
Right.
I would come in there and go, This is not, I would be so irate. I'd come in there to the writer's room. This is not a democracy. Understand that. I'd be like, there's only one opinion that matters around here, and that's mine. All of your opinions put together don't mean a sack of shit. I'd be like that. They'd go like, what a bitch. But I should have come in. You see, I should have come in like a real CEO, but I didn't know, because I was just perpetually
how would you do
hurt
it
and
now?
enraged.
How would you do it now the right way?
How I do it now, because I am back at work.
Yeah.
So now I am 72 now, and I've gone through the ringer 400,000 times or more. Now I just say, Jake. I open the back. You've been in my house. You see my porch. I work on my porch with my guys so I can smoke. That's why I do everything, is just so I can smoke. So I just go, Jake, I'm ready to lose my mind. Come out here, please. And then Jake comes out, and I give him my computer, and I go, they have sent me the wrong script 7 times in a row, Jake. Can you fix it for me? I'll be going over here to smoke. Thank you, son. And, Jake is like my CIA Mossad handler or whatever. And he just, I'm so thankful for my son.
Oh,
I said I had to give birth to my perfect staff. I did. And so my son will go, and he'll go bing, bing, because these my dear writers that I love, they're my age, so of course they don't know shit about the internet or how to do anything really, how to send
technology.
Scripts. Yeah, it's
the
hard.
Mystery.
It's hard. But my son, he'll just go bing, bing, give me your computer, bing, bing, give me your computer, bing, 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 bing. Mom, it's all here, and it's entitled on the date. And I'm so lucky,
Jake, come say hello.
Hello.
Come on, let's see you. No, just wave. Just wave and say hello. Over there.
I'm sure people know me from the podcast that they watch.
Hello, everyone.
Jake, say some of the ways you have saved me from my... you unplugged it.
What? No,
you're good. Oh. Give one good story of my almost going rogue. I saw that.
I would give the story that you just gave that actually happened. Yeah, no, she has good writers. Here's the thing.
No, I love them.
We want this time around that she's going to work, we want it to be fun. And she's never had fun. She's never enjoyed working.
Well, I did. When we were filming and everything was done, and then that was the fun part.
But I mean, like, dealing with the networks and the suits and, the network we can't name, she doesn't have to deal with that anymore. We have independence, and that's all we're doing. That's what we're doing. But no, that was it. They occasionally, here's what they do. They smoke a lot of weed. They write on their computers.
How dare you betray me? How dare he betray me?
And they all write on their own computers, and then they don't email it to each other. So that's what's actually happening. So that's a good story. And she's mad at me, but that's what happens. So I come in, I title it, I send it to all 3 computers, and then we get the work done. So thank you. She's mad at me now. I should leave.
You want to hurt him now or later?
No, but he is true.
Thank you, Jake.
I mean, old people, we're old.
Well, weed isn't the best. So.
Well, it is when you're writing funny scenes. It's so fun. That part is fun. Oh, my God, it's so funny. It's the funniest stuff I've ever written. And
so you're working on a new show now?
Yeah, and it's a blast. It's just a blast.
Can you talk about it, what it's about?
Well, it's what I always wanted to do, but the networks would never let me.
Yeah.
It's about a family, and they're farmers. And, I'm the grandma now. And you get to be a little more grouchy when you're the grandma, and you don't have to be the mom. And so I live on a farm with my daughter, her husband, and 6 grandkids. And we're preppers.
That's great.
It's very updated. We're preppers, and we see what's going on in the country, and we're trying to save America from the Chinese, Agua, the Chinese, the Venezuelan,
the CCP,
CCP,
the Venezuelan cartels,
the conquering Islamic hordes, and New York Mafia and all that kind of stuff. And my paramour, my lover, is the sheriff, who's also a marshal, and also marshalized or deputized by several other unnamed things in the U.S. And
he should deputize you.
Well, it's really funny, but that's Randy Quaid, who's the greatest.
Love
and we're
Randy
just having
Quaid.
the most fun times. And he and I are going to be the new, what's that movie? Gone with the Wind. Our love scenes are going to be unparalleled.
Clark Gable.
Yeah. Our love scenes are going to be the most amazing love scenes that anyone has ever seen on any screen anywhere.
Wow. That's quite something, Roseanne.
Yeah. And then she falls, she's a believer in God and prays all the time. And she gets everything wrong that God tells her to do. She gets it all mixed up because, she's a little crazy. And so she does everything wrong, and she ignores every sign God sends to her, including a burning bush in her own yard. And angels coming, she ignores all them. And instead, she kind of gets into criminal enterprises, all because she wants her granddaughter's bat mitzvah to be the greatest thing that's ever happened in Texas. And so she gets a little bit into criminal enterprises. And then at the end, she gets into a life and death situation, and she has to account for everything.
Wow.
But I call it the world's first God-com.
That's funny.
And
can I be an extra?
Of course you can, yeah. She runs the whole town by this prayer circle she's in.
I don't want to do any sex scenes, though.
No.
That's for you and Randy.
Me and Randy. I am doing a nude scene, but I'm going to be neck to feet in Spanx.
But there'll be nude Spanx.
Yeah. Well,
so no one will know.
I think what's on top will be white and the bottom will be nude. It's really fun.
That's classic. Okay, when is it coming out?
Ask Jake. I don't know. Sometime.
Have you started filming yet?
No. We're in production right now. We don't know. We don't know what the hell we're doing, but it is a blast. And it's kind of like a Coen Brothers thing.
Love the Coen Brothers. They're amazing.
It's real down home.
So finally at 72, you get to create what you want to be in charge of it.
Yeah. And ask large questions and get large answers from the Lord above.
Where can people see it?
I don't know.
That's to be determined.
Secret.
It'll be out.
In a secret thing. We're not supposed to even be talking about it.
Excellent. That's perfect then.
Yeah.
So
but it is fun.
I'm curious though of obviously that's born out of how you see the current situation in the country and in the world. So what would your assessment be of where we are now?
Well, I think prep for Armageddon and hope for the best.
Yeah. Plan for the worst and hope for the best.
But no, I think we're in the 6D war. We're in a war of the soul of our country and the whole world. We're in a deep spiritual war that people are not even seeing. The war is, I think, because I'm deep into Torah and I'm a Jew, a big scary Jew. And
you're to blame for everything now, by the way.
I control the weather.
It's unbelievable.
All the money in the world, the weather.
Every evil thing that happens.
I've done everything. Everything's my fault, for sure. And I accept it.
And you're hiding under every rock.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Control the whole world. And my question about that is, all these people that say that, all they do is say crappy things about us, and yet they go, the Jews control everything and this and that and the other. Well, if we did, wouldn't they be scared to piss us off? How come they're not scared to piss us off if we're in control of everything? Getting on there going, these damn Jews. Well, if we were in control, wouldn't you be scared to go on everywhere and say that? if Mossad can kill them and this and that on the toilets over there in Iran, where they, shot lasers and killed these guys on their toilets, wouldn't they be afraid to be talking bad about the Jews, like going, Israel killed this, and like Candace Owen? How come she ain't afraid they're going to come for her? And they're not. So what are they talking about? Mm-hmm. I didn't kill Candace Owens. I haven't gone after her and my Jewish buddies. So she's on there every day talking down. Well, if we were in control of all that and we have nuclear weapons aimed at every Gentile's head, as she claims, how come we didn't get her? And how come I got fired by all the Jews in the world? How come I lost my damn job if Jews are in control of the media?
Yeah. How come?
Right?
Yeah. It doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up.
But it is interesting to me to see how this, I've been tracking the Islamic leftist anti-Jewish alliance for a long time and reporting on it. Of course, I've been targeted and been accused of being anti-Semitic because I compared Dr. Fauci. I said a lot of people I talked to see Dr. Fauci as Dr. Joseph Mengele, the doctor of death. Yeah.
He is.
But now it's this sort of this outcry from conservatives and from the right that have joined the left. I'm always, like, for me I'm just a journalist, but over the last 35 plus years, as I've been studying and watching information warfare, one of the biggest red flags to me ever is when you see the left and the right in such perfect alignment.
Well, they believe the same things.
Right. And so what is that?
They all sound like Ilhan Omar, the right wing, because that is their source. It's so obvious. Like they never say about Charlie Kirk. Charlie said the following: Islam is using the left to slit the throat of the West. And they shot him in the throat. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's about all there needs to be said about.
No, instead they want to point to,
the
Charlie
Jews.
saying,
Look over there, it's the Jews. Look over there, it's Israel.
Yeah, the recent things he said about Israel, they take that and they say, oh, you see, so amazingly Israel, in no time at all, just turned around and reacted to that. First words out of Charlie's mouth that were ever, vaguely critical of Israel, and boom, they just assassinated him. I don't think so. I mean, Charlie Kirk was
everything Charlie said, I said 1 year ago about Israel. I'm a Jew. I believe God gave the Jews the land between the river and the sea. And here comes the devil. Between the river and the sea, reversing everything that's in Torah. Mm-hmm. Palestine will be free from the river to the sea. Mm-hmm. Just exactly the flip of what it says in Torah, because that's how the devil works. He reverses the truth. He reverses God's words. And they don't even know. They don't even know that. They don't even know that it is a war against God, that it's a war against Judaism and Christianity and the Torah.
They don't even know which river or which sea.
No, and they don't know that it's a war against Jesus, too, because Jesus was a Jew who taught Torah. They don't even know that much. They don't know anything. And so they're going, look over there at Israel, while Dearborn, Michigan is, an Islamic city in America, and they're popping up all over the place while they're going, Israel, it's the scapegoat. And I guess they're rooting for Islamic cities in every blue state in America. Well, that's what they're helping to do.
Well, let me ask you a question. I have a very close friend who's Jewish and an amazing, remarkable, actually, journalist in France. And she just got in touch with me to say she's leaving because Jews are no longer welcome in France anymore.
Absolutely not.
It's too dangerous to live there. And I wonder how does all of this make you feel as a Jewish person, just personally, in your children, your grandchildren? Are you worried for your own safety? Because what I notice is that, I'm very careful. I try to be very careful when I'm talking about political Islam, which is part of an Islamic takeover.
Yeah, that's right? Jihad. That's, globalize the Intifada.
And that is distinct from the average, ordinary Muslim people who don't seek anything like that and are not politically engaged but here, when it comes to Israel and the Jewish people, what I observe is it's just always the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, and nobody bothers to make any distinction. Nobody's even trying to say, hey,
well, they tried for a while to say the Zionists.
Yeah, but
but we knew
doesn't
what
work.
they meant. We knew what they meant.
No, it doesn't work because what they mean is every last living Jew, which is Hamas's stated platform. It's like when I get asked about this, I say, well, how do you negotiate with a side whose stated goal is the murder of every last living Jew, not just in Gaza, not just in Israel, not just in the Palestinian territories or Middle East or beyond. It's like every last living Jew on the planet. That is the stated goal and objective.
Well, it's a holy war. It's a holy war, the object being, the removal of all the demonic Jews. And they do think we're demonic. They think our prayers are demonic. And, October 7th happened because they were afraid that Jews were going to be able to pray at our holiest site on earth. That was called the Al-Aqsa flood because the Islamicists in Gaza who believe that Jews are the devil and that the state of Israel is all that stands between their Mahdi, their Messiah, which is a caliphate throughout all the Levant, the Middle East. Israel is standing in the way of their Messiah, which is a caliphate everywhere, from the Middle East all the way up through Europe and Spain.
Well, those are the steps.
Yes.
But the ultimate goal is an Islamic world ruled by Sharia law everywhere.
And they're doing so good at it. They're accomplishing it. And now it's come to America.
Yes.
And we have America first, which is really Islam first. That's really what it is. And they say America first, but they mean Qatar first, Muslim Brotherhood first. That's what they mean. And pointing their fingers at Israel while they're doing it. And while Dearborn, Michigan, the mayor came out and said no Christians are welcome here in Dearborn, Michigan. He didn't say no Jews are welcome here. He said no Christians because it is also a war on Christianity, which America is dumb to. No mention of Islam and its murder of Christians, especially in Nigeria, all over the world, especially, in that part of the world as they take over. And Candace, no mention. Tucker, no mention. But Israel. Well, Israel is fighting those people. Israel is fighting the people who are murdering Christians. But it's like, the war of deception. And Islam is the best at it. And it has deceived the UK, France, everywhere that has allowed it to use Christian democracies as their stomping grounds. And that's how they do it. They use the liberal Christian democracies, the laws there to allow,
yes, they do.
Freedom of religion. They subvert it through those laws. And nobody sees it coming till it's too late.
Well, they've been saying it. It's amazing. They've been saying it for a very long time. I was in a mosque in London, more than 20 years ago, where the cleric there told me exactly what they were going to do. And when he said, we will not rest until we have Sharia law and Islamic rule throughout the United Kingdom and throughout Europe and throughout the world. And I took them at their word.
Of course.
Because I heard the same message, whether it was London or it was the south of France or it was in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Jordan. I heard this in person. Egypt, in Cairo, I heard it. I heard it from Egyptians. I heard it from Algerians. I heard it from Iraqis, Jordanians, Syrians, Chechens. How many times do you need to hear it? My job is to listen and pay attention as a journalist. So when people tell me...
Well, they're really good because anybody who dissents gets killed. And, if you look at the minority groups...
Or canceled, right?
Well, murdered. Because they've murdered the Baha'i who oppose them. They murder every religion and every minority group who opposes them. Well, they haven't killed all of them yet. But all through the Levant, they've killed every minority group who has a different religion than them, and they think not twice about it, and Americans cheer them on.
And not just Americans, the left everywhere.
The left everywhere. Islam uses the left to slice the West throat.
Yes. And I mean, I've been reporting on this for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And literally that's how long. And there's been others.
And you know
I'm
what
not
you
the
hear
only one.
from it? My God, are you Islamophobic?
Yeah, which is ridiculous. That's why I chose to live in Baghdad for 5 years. Because I didn't like Muslim people. I don't think so. I mean,
I'm Islamophobic as fuck. I'll have to tell you, truthfully. Yeah, because they mean to kill me. And yeah, I'm scared of them. But, you know, more than that, I'm scared of being a coward. I'm scared of being a silent coward that dies on my knees. I don't really want that. Not after all the shit I've been through with Disney.
yeah. Which someone would say is Jewish owned and controlled.
Well, some of them say that, but actually, I would say not really. It's more like, unless a lot of Chinese are Jews, they might be, but I don't even think it's this country at all. I know there's a lot of Jewish people working at Disney. I'd see them, but I don't know if you're really Jewish if you're a left-wing commie. I don't think you can be a commie and be a Jew. I really don't.
Well, I mean,
I would like to.
Technically, you can't because monks didn't believe in God.
Right. I don't think you can be a commie, left hard, and be a Jew. In fact, I would like, and I have said, I excommunicate them from the body of whatever you want to call me. I'm a Jew who believes in God and Torah, and I'm excommunicating them because they're just furries.
So I have a question for you about that. Okay.
I said there's only 15 million Jews on earth and half of them are furries. You know, it's sad.
Yeah.
So, of course, I have to be loud because there's not that many of us who are sticking up for God right now.
Well, and a lot of furries are, you know, they're doing a lot of bad things with kids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're furries and commies.
Yeah.
And, you know, they need to be excommunicated as well as slapped right across their damn face.
But Roseanne, here's something I really do not understand.
What?
Some of the people that have pushed the hardest against me are Jewish organizations. And
that represent no Jews.
Well, that's exactly the point that I want to get to. You know, I'm the person that says, hey, they just threw, Islamic terrorists in south of France just threw a Jewish survivor of the Holocaust out of the bedroom window of her second-story apartment, killed her. When I interviewed Shimon Peres for CBS News, I had the Jewish producers and show staff telling me, why do you want to ask him these questions about Al-Qaeda? Like Al-Qaeda is not targeting Jews. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's Jewish people who push back against me for trying to show them that the people you're voting for, you backing, Hillary Clinton, you're backing Joe Biden, but these are the people that are denying the reality of Islamic terrorists I never met an Islamic terrorist who did not nurse a deep-rooted hatred for the Jewish people. I spent time in Gaza and Ramallah and all across the West Bank, Bethlehem and Hebron and all these places. And I had many Muslim people tell me about how Jews were not human and how Jews were, animals for these reasons. I saw cartoons. I saw educational materials, things from schools. I saw what kids were taught. And of course I have, many Muslim friends and people I would consider family, actually, who have no issue with Jewish people because they see through the propaganda. But it doesn't change the fact that you have an entire system that is set up to demonize and dehumanize Jewish people. When I got to Dubai once, I used to go in and out of Dubai, going into Iraq and Afghanistan, and I tried to call a friend in Israel, and I couldn't place that call because the only country in the world that it was perfectly acceptable to ban communications with was Israel. I had to call the operator, and they said, oh, no. I said, can I place this call? Will you place it for me? Because I'm having trouble getting through. And they said, no. It's illegal to call the state of Israel from the United Arab Emirates. I don't know if it's still that way because I'm super old and that was, 20 years ago. But nevertheless, you don't hear an outcry about any of that from anyone.
Well, you don't
ever.
hear an outcry that is against international law for me to pray at my holiest site on earth, against international law. And also,
Do you mean Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is the Temple Mount?
The Temple Mount, yeah.
Yes. And
Al-Aqsa Mosque is not the Temple Mount, but, that's down a little bit from the Temple Mount.
Yes.
But the Dome of the Rock.
Right.
But it's also under international law, the raped Israeli women were not allowed to bring charges against their rapists.
from the Second World War?
No, from October 7th.
Oh, from October 7th. But, that's another thing no one talks about is the Israeli women who were kept as sex slaves by the Nazis. And when they were being defeated and fleeing these villages, because I worked with a French Catholic priest who documented a lot of this, they would slaughter all these young girls, all these women, Israeli women. Of course, the Nazis didn't want it recorded in their version of history that they were keeping Jewish women for sex, but also to destroy bloodlines, right?
Right.
So that there would be no Jewish people left. But in theory, the Nazi platform was, certainly in Eastern Europe, was to kill every last living Jew. So now go ahead and explain why your Nazi soldiers and your Aryan Brotherhood had Jewish sex slaves. But everybody just leaves that part out of the history.
They also leave out the history that Hitler made a pact with the Mufti of Jerusalem to continue the Holocaust into the Middle East, which they've done quite well. And
Yes.
the Mufti found Yasser Arafat to lead the whole Palestinian thing, which is a made-up thing.
And they brought the Mufti to Berlin right before the Second World War began and granted him honorary Aryan status.
Right.
Right, so he
well,
was...
Iran, the word Iran means Aryan in Farsi, because it was Persia before that.
Yes.
But they continued the ethnic cleansing after World War II. Right now, every Arab state, all 54 of their ethno states, which, they can't take one Jewish one amongst that, but they're all Judenrein now. And all those Jews, 1 million of them, almost 1 million, fled to Israel. So they ethnically cleansed every Arab state, and now they went to Israel and they say, well, you guys are immigrants. You weren't born in Israel. Well, yeah, we were born in your country and you kicked us out. It's all a lie. It's all deception. It's all, the New World Order is the Fourth Reich. And
Yes.
people don't know that, the WEF and the UN, it's all tied up with the Bank of International Settlements,
yes.
the Nazis. It's all
look at
Nazi.
the Nazis at the Nuremberg trials. Anybody
Right.
who wants to, who's interested, can go and look up what many of them said when they were on trial. They didn't say they were defeated.
No, they weren't defeated.
They didn't say
They
it was
were brought
over.
to America in Operation Paperclip, and they took over American institutions, and those institutions now are run by the Qatari Muslim Brotherhood. They control every one of our campuses. A lot of our State Department, especially under Hillary Clinton, it was all Muslim Brotherhood. I can't even write the words Muslim Brotherhood, which is really why I was fired from my job, from my show, because I said the taboo words. And I can, even if I go anywhere I go, Facebook and use those words and say what's happening here, it's instant block. Not so much now since Trump came back, but I've documented it all these years. And so now I say maybe I should go to Israel, because that would be the only place that I would be allowed without censorship to tell the American people what's really happening to them without the Muslim Brotherhood censoring me in all Western media, including UK, like Piers Morgan. He has to parrot that crap, Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas talking points. Look at it. I just want people to look. Stop doing what the parrots on the right are telling you is Israel is, stop and actually look at what's happening right in front of your face. Hamas talking points. Hamas is in our Congress. Hamas talking points are on, all the media constantly from, these supposed podcasters that are supposed to be anti-establishment, but yet they're not. They're comics that are really, they're just walking the establishment line and talking about Israel and is supposed to be revolutionary. Well, they're not. They're hacks, sellouts, destroyers of comedy, and, just Hamas talking points, all to help the global caliphate, who's paying them, obviously, just like they pay Antifa and all these fake revolutionaries in the street. The only funny part about that, ironically, I should say ironic, not funny, they'll be the first to go when the caliphate takes over. You think
that's what Yuri Brezhnev said.
Yeah, you think that they don't like dissent.
No,
Neither the commies. They're not going to let you dress up like as they call it, degenerate.
Yeah,
and run around saying anything and burning down public buildings.
Oh no, you're trying to go right off the top of a building with your hands tied.
My sister's gay, and she says she's like, queers for Palestine. These people are rooftoppers. That's what she calls them.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
The rooftoppers,
of course.
But they're under. In Judaism we say our enemy is not human. It's that they are captives of negative, dark forces that are against God. So we always pray for their deliverance from captivity because they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea. They just saw it on TV, and it looks like it's against the establishment or, tradition, when in fact it's not. It's upholding all of that.
Of course, for the establishment, for the elite who think they know better.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
They are paid by the billionaires to keep the billionaires. And I'm talking about the satanic structure of those billionaires who, really like the idea of humans as prey. They keep them in power by being their street gangs like Hitler used them. They're not on the side of the people either.
No.
They're against the people. They're against people like me who seek to actually speak truth. Mm-hmm. They hate my guts. They call me a fascist as they try to burn my house down and, dox me everywhere and call me a racist. Actually, they have no reflection when they look in the mirror. I saw somebody who was really not me, but they don't see nothing. I mean, they weigh 350 pounds with pink hair and all that, and they look in the mirror and they see Madonna. I swear to God, they're under such
delusion. It's real.
It is delusion. And Satan is where it comes from. He's all delusion. He's all lies. And I don't know who said it, but it's a great line. In hell, there is no reason. There's no reason.
Let me take you back to three things. Number one, you said that you were not, appreciated or recognized and so on. And it is true that the structures that around which, we've based and built so much of our society now, systems of reward and recognition, rejected you. They rejected me. Mm-hmm. But I have to say, though, that you are truly loved and appreciated by the people for that courage and for that honesty and that humility and your knowledge and your consistency, and so while that is a very different kind of recognition, it's still a big thing.
Well, that's why I'm alive.
Yes.
They kept me alive, my peeps.
Yeah.
The people like me, and there's more of us than of them.
Yeah.
But, they kept me alive for all this time. And I do feel their love. I do feel their support. I feel their soul ties to me. And that's why I have the will to speak on their behalf and for them because, nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
And, I always kind of liked sticking my fingers in the eye of arrogant power that didn't like working folk.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I was going to get this religious with it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because I tried to always keep it like mainstream America, but there just comes that time if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? Mm-hmm. That old Jewish saying from Hillel. But I feel like if America is going to turn its back on Israel, it's going to it's going to create a vacuum that will invite hell here, and I don't think America will survive it.
Well, do you think America will turn its back on Israel? Is that how you feel right now?
Well, that's what they're trying to work on. They're trying to get the youth to follow their plan, which...
And to a degree, it's working.
Yeah.
And it's working because of the bombing and operations inside of Gaza and the prolific reporting on all that, what you call war porn, right? Child war porn.
It's child war porn. Yeah, and they've just turned... I mean, the people in Gaza are hostages of the UN, Egypt, and Jordan. They're the only refugees in the history of the world who are not allowed to leave a war zone.
Well, and Iran.
Yes. And I think that they are captive there.
Amazing at a time when, the U.S. and the UK, everyone else is told you must take refugees, but Egypt doesn't have to, Jordan doesn't have to. I mean, of course, Jordan has a lot of Palestinians living in refugee camps for decades.
Well, that's a Palestinian state. With the original partition of Palestine, it was divided into a Palestinian state, which was Jordan, and an Israeli state. So, they're not happy with that. They have to take more. So, it has to be Gaza, which had Jews in it. They had to kick them out. They had to ethnically cleanse all the Jews from Gaza and take more. Now they've taken Bethlehem, and they're trying to take a lot of other cities inside of Israel.
Yes.
They always
Bethlehem, by the way, supposedly the birthplace of Jesus Christ, but you don't hear Christians complaining about it.
There are no Christians in
because they've all been in Bethlehem. They've been kicked out.
And they're Catholic.
They've been forced out.
Because UN Agenda 30, let's get into this. UN Agenda 30, one of their things they talk about is the one world religion. And that's what they're going for. And it's called Chrislam. And Chrislam, in effect, because I study this, I read papal bulls and all that stuff because I'm nosy. And I like history. And I like to see how it's distorted. I like to see how they're trying to write Jews out of the history of Judea.
Yeah.
And it has to be studied. And anyway, Chrislam is actually the destruction of Christianity, the destruction of the teachings of Jesus, and the destruction of Judaism. Chrislam, the one world religion that they're working on. You can read all about it. And what they want is Chrislam is also Zionist, although it always bitches about Zionism, but they just want Israel with no Jews in it.
Yes. Well, if you listen to Islamic doctrine, political Islamic doctrine, they want the whole world with no Jews, no Christians, nobody but Muslims.
Specifically in the Jewish Holy Lands, they want no Jews in the Jewish Holy Lands.
Yes, and what's so interesting about that to me is that when you actually go to the Holy Lands and when you actually look into it and you study the Quran, what you find is that the first Muslims didn't come to this territory for hundreds of years until after Christians who came after the Jewish people.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's amazing to me.
Well, Arabs come from Arabia. There's a seafaring people. And they came and they took Mecca and Medina from the Jews by murdering them all and colonizing it. And then they went all the way through like a knife through butter. They are colonizers. I love that they call Zionists the Zionist occupiers of their own land, and they are a supremacist, imperialist, occupying notion.
Well, just as the people of Sudan. I mean, they conquered Darfur and
ask the people of Turkey
and Sudan.
Ask the people of Turkey. Ask the people of anywhere.
Ask the tribes of Somalia or Eritrea or any of these countries. Even Nigeria. The first caliphate was in the north of Nigeria, in a place called Sopoko. Was Osman bin Fodio was the first caliph. it's interesting because for a long time, many Muslims lived in these areas before it became politicized, and they lived alongside local tribes. And now that it become completely politicized, nobody looks to hold Arab countries or Muslim nations to the same standard as the West. You're supposed to atone for colonialism and imperialism and all of the evils that you've done wrong in the past, but Arab countries don't have to. Muslim countries don't have. Why not? Why?
Because they got the oil. They got all the money in the world. That's why. Because
they're protected by the left and the deep state, the elites.
Well, Putin loves them. Putin just gave them all kinds of rights above any other ethnic people in Russia.
Did he?
Yeah.
Which is odd because Putin has faced the Islamic threat in Chechnya for a long time. And he also gave George Bush access to the Soviet republics, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and that, to help fight in Afghanistan right after 9/11, against the recommendation of his intelligence officers and defense chiefs. So it's odd that he would do that, because look at Beslan, look at that attack. There've been such brutal attacks, killing Russian children. I can't remember.
Yes, I know, but he gave it to a specific sect of Islam.
I see.
And they're all warring against each other. In fact, this is the first time that Shia and Sunni have ever joined up to be against Israel. They're usually fighting each other.
Well, which is what bin Laden recognized.
Right.
Which is why, because he took the teachings of the Palestinian philosopher Abdul Azam and then Muhammad Qutb of the Muslim Brotherhood, who was in a prison in Egypt, and wrote the doctrine that really was kind of the Mein Kampf of the Islamic movement. And he brought those two things together because he realized that the real power for the Islamic Ummah, the Islamic people, was in the unity of Sunni and Shia, which is one of the reasons they were happy to get rid of Ayman al-Zakawi, because Zakawi came and upset that he was attacking the Shia. I was living in Baghdad at the time. I mean, they kill 100, 150 Shiite people a day with these attacks.
Well, they're always at war with their own sects, their own, Muslim on Muslim crime. But, now they're all seeming to find brotherhood in, coming against Israel.
Wasn't that what the Nazis did prior to the Second World War, was to go throughout these Islamic countries in North Africa and other places and get rid of the moderate Muslim people and leaders, because they needed those who would work with them.
Yeah, the war is always on the moderates.
Always.
Always.
Yeah.
And that same war is happening in Israel.
Yes.
I wouldn't say against the moderates, but the left in Israel is finally losing, and that's huge. Like the left here is finally losing, and that's huge. But Israeli left, has just been so destructive to Israel in every war and everything going on there. And to see the people wake up there and go, wait, these people aren't even on our side. And their role in not paying attention before October 7th. I said that a year ago or longer, or immediately after. And then when Charlie said it a year after me, now they're saying, oh, he's turning on Israel. No, he wasn't. He's actually criticizing the left of Israel, and that needs to happen. They need to be.
And what is it that you think happened there with October 7th? Because, of course, the Israel's defenses were so robust. It was hard to believe that somehow Palestinians with bulldozers and civilians and all these people could approach that wall without anyone seeing it, because if a bird lands on that wall, an alarm goes off. So, obviously there was a cyber component there, right, to masking.
Their deep state is very much tied in with our deep state, very much Five Eyes deep state, MI6, it's all the same. Yes. And their business is, they like a lot of war. And, they like war. They like selling weapons to both sides. They like to keep stuff going. They make so much money in war. And, they turn a blind eye, even though they were warned. I mean, why did Joe Biden let ISIS in our country for 4 years. Mayorkas was kind of the fiddle player while that happened, right? Well, a Mayorkas over in Israel, that isn't hard to imagine. And
why there's so many Mayorkas people left in the Department of Homeland Security?
Yes, absolutely.
Why are they still there?
Well, because their operation isn't all the way complete, and they're still fighting. They're going to fight right till the end.
Okay, and they're there to subvert and undermine
the West.
Well, and Trump's agenda.
Yeah, well,
because it's the agenda of the American people.
Yeah, well, they hate any agenda for any people or any kind of freedom for any people, any liberty for any people. And
they
most
hate people. I mean, let's
they
face
do.
it,
They hate our guts.
Yeah,
especially anything to do with women having any kind of rights. They hate that.
Well, they've worked very neatly to undo all the rights that we fought for. I mean, we fought for the right of women to compete in sport, and then they put men in there.
Yeah.
Put a skirt and lipstick on them and said, "Oh, it's okay. They call themselves women."
Yeah, and then women are the worst enemy of women when they're tools of, I hate to say patriarchy because that's a ridiculous. I just call it. What do I call it, Jake?
Dictards.
Well, I call them dictards, but phallocracy. Just where it's like, I call it like it's a rule by pedo Ponzi pirates. It is.
Pedo Ponzi pirates building Ponzi schemes, pedophiles building Ponzi schemes to rape, pillage, and plunder.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It really is perfect.
And sometimes I say a priest class of pedo Ponzi pirates.
Yes. Well, they like to throw the priests and the holy people in there because that helps to discredit religion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you create a system where people are supposed to, like men are not supposed to have any sexual contact or activity with anybody in their whole lives. I mean,
except other men.
Yeah.
And
is
boys.
it a no-brainer that it's going to happen? Of course.
Well, I think that's part of it because if you look at really, it is a devil war. It's Satan against God. It really is on a soul level, if you want to go into that language. But go back to the Greeks. It's man-boy love. It's the whole thing. The woman was to have the babies. That's not where you're really fulfilled. You gotta be fulfilled by a young boy. And if that isn't part of Islamic culture, I don't know what is. Bocce boys, it's very much like Stone Age stuff where you didn't want to get women pregnant, so you had sex with boys. And sometimes I say, still, when I get really mad at how they're brainwashing of us, how they brainwash us so that women defend a pedophile system. And they always do. And I've known this because I've been so involved in children's rights, and so have you, about anti-trafficking things, to see these mothers defend their guilty husbands, guilty boyfriends, and take this side against the raped kid. You know it happens more than it doesn't happen because it's a brainwashing system, and it's been going on for centuries, since Babylon. And
so is it all coming apart now? Is it being exposed? And is it being counted in a meaningful way that will actually result in a realignment of the world?
I think so. I think so many people there's so many survivors that it can't be discounted. And so many people have lived through it and know someone in their family that it's happened to, have seen it with their own eyes, how the judges give back abused kids to the perpetrator. And just the miscarriage of justice on every level. The corrupt judicial system against children on every level in every country. I'm talking about Western countries. You can imagine how it is in, that's what Sharia is.
It doesn't even make it to court in Islamic countries. No.
It's an awakening process, and I think God's had it. He's calling people to awaken to it and to do something about it. And a lot of people are.
How do you see this playing out?
Well, I see it playing out as God laid it out in the Bible. Every day it's more apparent because I think we're supposed to witness the unfolding of the truth, the scientific fact of the Bible as it's being laid before our very eyes. And of course, most of us don't. We rather look at what's happening with the Queen of England over there. But it's so apparent if you read and study, everything is in there. We're living in it. And all this other noise is a bunch of movies to distract us. But I think that we're developing new organs of perception that allow us to see what's actually happening right before our eyes, whereas all these other centuries before, we looked everywhere but there. We swept it under our rugs, never realizing that we were living in a filthy house with all kind of crap under our rug. All kind of dirt and filth and germs right under our feet.
You didn't realize that teachers, you thought teachers became teachers because they loved kids and loved teaching. You didn't realize they became teachers because, an unbelievable number of them were nursing some horrible secret sexual fantasies about kids, right? Same with Disney. You went there because you thought, this is built for kids, a safe place for kids to enjoy being kids. And then you find out, that's where a huge number of pedophiles go to work. It's like the way we looked at the world has been fundamentally altered now.
Well, the internet did that, I think, because freedom of information, which of course they've locked it down now. They've had a long time to lock it down. And you really, really have to search and have code words to find it. But there was a window where you were able to get all kinds of information on the internet before they did that. And that was the first time that no church or state could keep fact from the human population. So they had to really freak out and get it back under control. And now you have to pay for it.
For everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also...
And if not with money, with your soul.
Yeah. And it's changed.
Dramatically.
Yeah. And now they have it back in control.
Revealed itself, right?
Yeah. They have it back under their...
Sure. And more
royal control.
More control than ever before.
So it's hard to fight, but people who really fought for it is pretty much liberated and went everywhere. So people still work off of that information. And, those facts can't be altered and they can't be hidden because they were liberated on behalf of human beings, and it's there. And, it's stored in really good libraries where the bad guys can't touch it. And
there's two things I want to go back to. One is when we talk about Gaza, one of the things that's really hurting Israel and recruiting people to the cause of, the Palestinians. I hesitate to say Palestinians.
Well, it's child war porn that the West is sexually aroused by. And I used to think it was just their self-righteous genes were, but they love it. They love it, and it arouses them. I think it's sexually, too, because they are sadomasochists, and they love pictures of dead and harmed children. They live for it. They really, really do. And that's like demonic. And they wait for it, and then they say, oh, the Jews did this. The Jews kill babies. That's a medieval blood libel. But, like I said, and, I'm a troll. Yes. I troll all day long, and I troll some good people, too. And I know who they are, and so I troll them. And when they're up in their ass doing going off on their big speeches, I just drop in there and drop a line. And I did it when it was real. They were doing the whole Jews love to draw baby blood and kill babies. And I said, why don't you put those kids in some of those tunnels that, international aid
money
built.
Aid money built.
Why don't you
in
put the
Gaza.
old people instead of just all the young Palestinian boys that you steal there and dig your tunnels, because that is what is child labor dug tunnels. And come on, they're just commies. They're just UN commie furry types, and they are child traffickers, and they do take the lives of Palestinian children, because I went there and I saw it for myself and was told that by Gazan grandmothers. They steal their children, they make them dig those tunnels by hand, the little children, and they do rape them and they do kill them, or the family doesn't get money or food. Come on. It's way bigger than anybody even knows. And I know that it will all be exposed in the end, and we'll see the truth of it. But I said, why don't you have bomb shelters for your civilians? Why is there not one in Gaza? Why are the Gazan people not allowed to leave? Because they are human shields of the Egyptians and the Jordanians, because they have to have something there to attack Israel in grotesque ways on October 7th. That was a satanic sacrifice of those
evil
people.
Attack. Yeah,
and then
evil.
They knew they were going to fight back. And October 8th, all over the world, people with the same tents and the same signs stopped the genocide.
Yeah.
On October 8th, before Israel had even fired one shot in return.
Yes.
So it was all planned for a really long time. The left did it. The left and Islam did it. The left in Israel, there were people that were part of it. There were people in the army who are traitors, like there are here, who were traitors that left our borders open. The very same thing. And the thing is, I said over a year ago, the horrible thing is that the people that were sacrificed that day were the pro-two-staters. That's who they killed. The people who believed in peace with the Gazans. They were driving them around. They were working in their homes.
Sure.
That's who the left sacrificed, the peaceful leftists. So you have to really look at what they do.
Again.
Yeah. You have to look at who sacrificed. And it is all, in my opinion, I said this on Piers, and everyone rushed in to go, Roseanne, psychotic. But the left does practice human sacrifice. And everyone killed in Gaza and Israel is sacrificed to Moloch. And let's just be real about it for 1 minute.
Well, it is. These are the things that people don't want to talk about, right? They don't want to talk about the fact that the Palestinians have received billions and billions and billions of dollars in aid, and none of
Which
it has
they turned
gone
into
tunnels and weapons, and none of it has gone to bringing their people out of poverty or improving education, improving the well-being of the average Palestinian. That is, and by the way, Ferrari dealerships and Porsche dealerships.
They forced those children to go to school, and their textbooks supplied by the UN, UNRWA, say how to kill Jews.
Teaching them how to hate and kill Jews. They're teaching them
how to be assassins, which is what MK Ultra did on the experiments of captive populations here in the U.S., where it was mostly like orphan black children and Indian children. They did these mind control, torturous experiments, including on some of our friends, to turn them into human assassins, create multiple personality disorder in them so that they would have amnesia when they were sent to relay messages or assassinate somebody. That's what they're doing, the UN, the left.
There's tons of evidence that the Palestinian people have been exploited by Hamas, which means exploited by Iran, exploited by the left. The one thing that is obviously very difficult...
Starting with it comes from the KGB. It really does.
Yes, a lot of these tactics come straight out of the Marxist playbook.
Right.
And it's financed by a lot of the West, right? A lot of this exploitation of the Palestinians financed by the West, and then of course prolonged by the Arab countries, who are happy to keep the Palestinians as refugees, never give them citizenship, never give them any rights. But then Israel has this problem that as long as you can show dead babies in Gaza. Yes, it might be, war porn for a lot of people. Yes, it's being exploited. Some of it is even being faked. And I don't know why anyone takes the word of a terrorist regime. They said the Gazan Ministry of Health. Give me a break. I never went on a operation or dealt with any Islamic terrorist spokesperson that didn't lie about everything. I mean, I'd go on operations with them, and the Taliban would say in Afghanistan, we killed 200 Afghan soldiers. And I mean, you were with the Afghan soldiers, you know what I mean? No one was wounded, let alone killed. So you'd see these dramatic press releases coming out and know that they were lying about everything. But at the same time, now Israel has this problem. They're fighting an enemy that uses hospitals, that uses schools. They use them as command and control networks. They use them to store their weapons. They use them to gather intelligence. They use them as operation centers for operational control. And what you're seeing play out with Israel is very familiar to me, because the U.S. dealt with this in Afghanistan and Iraq. When you're a state that fights an insurgency, they use people as human shields. They use these soft targets.
Yeah, soft
and if you
targets.
hit these soft targets, well, as with every war, in every war, civilians die. As you said, the moderates, right, are the ones they don't want. And of course, the civilians die. And I know Israel's doing a lot to warn people, to put out flyers, to put out notifications. We know that there's evidence of Hamas not letting people leave or returning people in some cases. But at the end of the day, the images of dead Palestinian children are hurting the state of Israel, or the cause of the Israeli people, right?
Yeah, but I think that when when there's peace, and I do think it's coming, and when all the facts are shown and all the facts come out and all the propaganda is exposed as well, we'll see something very different. And of course,
that wouldn't surprise me.
I read a whole bunch, and nobody reports. I can't remember how I put it, but it's like almost 100% bullshit, because what's really going on, they can't say. But it was a subterranean war.
Yeah, the tunnel systems are vast.
Yeah, and they went all over the place. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just Gaza, but they went all over the place, from Iran all the way down, all across, even into Europe. I mean, it was a subterranean war, and in a way bigger circumference than just Gaza, and on kind of all over the world has been a subterranean war. And we'll find out about it.
You only have to look at the Boring company, right?
Right.
This company, I think, that Elon Musk has used. Mm-hmm. Why is a company that has such advanced technology for making tunnels, why are they doing so well? Why do they have so much business if there are no tunnels?
Oh, there's tunnels all over the place. You can find out, deep underground military bases. That's the real deal about, we don't have time to get into that, but I think the world won that war, and that was a big one. And it's been going on for a long, long time, and that is about trafficking. You know that. But nobody reported on this, and I loved it so much, and I thought this was a God thing. For me, it was, because sometimes, you get so disheartened about what in the hell are they doing? What are they
Sure, what's
saying?
going on?
But, and I just saw it hit the internet, because I go deep in searches. What was it, about 2 weeks ago, Jake, that Israel had set up these safety corridors for the people of Gaza to go down, to escape, Gaza City.
Ahead of operations.
Yeah, to go south before, they really bomb the hell out of the place there. The women, the grandmas and the moms and their kids were trying to leave because Israel also had liberated the food from the commie UN and commie Hamas that were keeping from the people and making them pay exorbitant amounts for it when it was donated by the World Forum. And they say tons of food was kept from the people. But Israel had liberated the food, and it was all along the corridor. And Hamas was preventing the Gazan women and their children from leaving, of course, because, none of those people want to lose their human shields. It was like a miracle, because those women, they left anyway. And I was crying, because it was like a miracle to me, because I said, these women who have been so terrorized, so humiliated, so held down by this ideology that considers them to be third-rate, not second-rate, but third-rate citizens of that ideology in that place, they went towards the Israeli corridors. And that is a revolution that is never covered, never even thought of, never even reported on. But they left the captivity of Egypt to go to the bright hope of Israel, a place where there is equality for women. And I was just so touched by it. And yesterday I saw on the internet, it was 800,000.
800,000 women that went from where?
Gaza City to the south through the Israeli corridors. And to me, that is God. He told them, he put into their hearts, you do not have to live like this. You are not captives. There is freedom. There is a better way. And of course it's democracy. Of course it's this. Of course it's equality. And then I was reading in Torah, and it reminded me other studies that I read. You know, so many of the people who are Muslim in the Levant were Jewish and forced to convert by the sword. Which is
or
why,
by the jizya, the tax,
yes,
which taxed them into poverty.
And so, of course, they have the same DNA as, you know, the Jewish people there. My family comes from North Africa. We have North African DNA. But, of course, they have our same DNA, but they were forcibly converted. And so what does that say? That, you know, that they, on a soul level, on a DNA level, remember. And I think that we're in the times of the remembering of truth and the remembering of the matriarchs, along with the patriarchs, who created a hope of freedom and built the Western world with it.
Yes.
And I don't want to see America. I don't want to see America forget that or lose it.
You know
I don't
what?
want to see America become enslaved.
Roseanne, one thing that is hard to understand for me is, you know, as a little girl learning about the Holocaust and seeing those images from the camps and what was done to the Jewish people, that really stayed with me. And so when
And to a lot of other people, too.
Yeah, and to a lot of other people too, to Germans who were disabled or not Aryan enough or whatever, to Romani people, Gypsies, to many others.
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes, but what I don't understand is that when I got older and I read about Operation Paperclip and how the Americans, driven by the CIA particularly, were bringing Nazi leaders to the United States before the bodies were even buried, before the world had seen the whole truth. They were protecting the people that had done this. But then on top of that, what makes no sense to me is why do Jewish leaders appear to have so little interest in that truth? I mean, you brought the head of Nazi intelligence came over to help become the number 2 to set up the CIA with Alan Dulles.
Yeah, Alan Dulles, bingo, that's the guy. Him and his brother, they're the guys.
But you're actually working with the head of Nazi intelligence to create U.S. intelligence agency. You have Nazi scientists coming into NASA. You continue the programs of Dr. Joseph Mengele at Fort Detrick, Maryland, under the banner of the U.S. military. You're protecting all the Nazi leaders of Ukraine. By the way, they've 300,000 Jewish Ukrainians murdered, and the people responsible for that you protected. From the Nuremberg trials, not one of them held accountable. Why? I mean, I don't understand. There are so many robust Jewish networks, the Holocaust Museum, the Simon Wiesenthal Institute. I mean, there's a plethora of organizations that are already set up and able to take this on, and yet they have no interest. How does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense because you have to look at power and the Jews' choice has always been to collude with power or die. That gets into a large, large subject of what is the nature of power, who holds it, what is it, where does it come from, how long has it been here? That's a huge philosophical and religious and historical discussion. But why are there kings? Why are there queens? Why are there lords? Why are there...
Because people like power. They like to rule over other people.
Well, why are there bloodlines who own everything?
It's a very good question.
Yeah.
Like the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and...
Well, forget them because, I mean, don't forget them, but they are courtiers of royals. Why are there kings?
Why are there kings?
Think about it. I mean, why are there people who have blue blood and own all the money in the world and own all the cities and every dime and have their own banks and their own...
And we pay them to borrow money from them that they just print for nothing. I mean, why does it doesn't even make sense.
What does value mean? What does stock markets mean?
Nothing.
What does Basel, Switzerland have to do with it? It's real deep. But I mean, there are answers, but people don't want to see it.
Well, isn't that what Trump is trying to do now when he talks about dismantling the Federal Reserve, replacing the chairman of the Federal Reserve? I mean, you have to wonder when you look at it how many of those jobs that may be shut down during the government shutdown, how many of them will stay shut down, right? How many of them will not come back?
Well, Trump's taken it down to the evil core. I mean, that's why they don't understand what Trump's doing, but he's unraveling it down to its evil core. And I, of course, love him.
Yes.
You know, even when he looks crazy, like right now, he looks completely crazy to me.
In what way?
What's this 21-step peace plan he's got going over there?
And for Israel?
Yeah, I'm like, what? So I had to call our friend and go, what in the F is he doing? Putting Tony Blair in there to, govern Gaza? What is he doing?
Tony Blair, of all people? What is that? Did you get any good answers?
Yes, I did. It's like, hold on.
Be patient.
It's 5D, blah, blah,
5D
blah, blah, blah.
chess.
Yeah, he's got,
Do you believe that?
I do, because every other time when I thought Trump was out of his effing mind, then it comes back, oh, I see what it is 5D. Yeah. It's like he's way smarter than the rest of us. So I was told, well, look at this piece and this piece and this piece. And then I could rest and say the right prayers instead of like, Lord, help Trump regain his mind. Now I'm going, okay, I get it. I see what he's doing. He is just unspeakably brilliant. And
what is he doing, do you think? I mean, this whole thing with...
Well, he has to fight so much.
Yeah,
oh, my God, he has to fight BRICS.
Yes.
He has to fight, what's his name? King George, is it? What's Philip? What the hell's the British name? Who's
Charles?
Charles.
King Charles.
He's got all the green, crazy... He's Chrislam.
Yeah.
Did you see, what's her name? What's the bald-headed prince? William?
Oh, yes,
his
William.
wife, the twig,
yeah,
the skinny Kate.
Yeah.
She's wearing a veil. Did you see that?
She is?
Yeah.
Did she go to an Islamic
No, she was just at some, I don't know. But there she was in a veil. I'm like, here it comes. And, he's got all that plus Putin, plus...
No, the enemy at home. The enemy within.
Then he's got the Middle East. Then he's got macaroni. Then he's got so much.
That
the
was pretty
whole
classic,
world.
what he did to macaroni, though.
Oh, wasn't that great?
Right? I mean, holding up, blocking his convoy, and then having the French president have to call him from the side of the road.
I loved
and
it.
say, can you let me through? And he says, no, walk. You
I
can
loved
walk.
it.
You have to wonder what that's really about, though. I mean, that was a message. And it was one that, I mean, Macron obviously is very close to the global elite. He's a member, right?
Yeah.
He's a card-carrying member of the globalist
WEF.
lunatics. Yeah, I mean, Macron is one of them, is one of the puppets, and also Rutte, the head of the Netherlands, and then, of course, Justin Trudeau in Canada, you know. So he's had...
They're all little pharaohs.
Yeah, but what was the specific reason that Trump went after Macron in that way? That was a message.
Well, I think because he declared a non-existent state of Palestine. I mean, how crazy can you be? Where are you going to put it?
Well, they're going to do that. They would have to do the same thing that they accuse the Jews of doing. They'd have to move all the Jews and Israelis out of there. But they say that that's wrong. So, but it's not wrong if you do it to Jewish people, because they'll say, well,
No.
those were Arab homes in the first place. But then how far back are you going to go? Then I go back again to, well, it was hundreds of years after the first, the Assyrians converted to Christianity in the first century after Christ's death, that the Ottomans came to those
Erdogan
areas.
wants to bring back the
Or took over those areas.
Ottoman Empire. And
Yes. Erdogan, the head of Turkey.
Yeah. And King George, or whatever his name is, he
King
wants
Charles.
to bring back the British Empire.
Well,
Empire is really wanting to make a big
I'm
comeback.
not sure what Charles is doing. If he wants to bring back the British Empire by taking a knee at the foot of the Ottoman Empire is not
That's-
exactly how you do it. So I'm not sure what he's doing.
But Trump has all that. He has to fight all of that. And of course he'll win because he's too smart. But
But
I don't know how that's going to help the working class of America. But I hope it does. I mean, something has to happen there.
Well, it would help the working class of America if they got rid of the IRS. Do you think that's a reality?
I hope so. They're saying like the golden spring, which everybody's talking about, that's when they get rid of it, in the spring of 26. I'm praying for that because American people deserve that.
Well,
And
spring
that's
of
our damn money.
2026. Let's look at that politically. On the political calendar, that would be roughly 6 months before the midterms, which would make sense. Because if you got rid of the Federal Reserve, rid of the IRS, and rained down indictments, you would leave your adversaries or enemies reeling on the battlefield going into that all-important series of elections, right?
I think so too. And can you see the furries trying to go up against and go burn down cities over that? And everybody's going, what?
They'll do it anyway because they have to, because they got their marching orders.
But I
Good
mean,
little
people
puppets.
they're going like, what? You're protesting the working people getting some money?
That would make it tough. However, okay, logic and reason don't really come into it, number
Right.
one. And number two, what I would argue, and it remains to be seen if this is correct, but I would argue if you've declared the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, which they are, foreign paramilitaries, actual foreign armies.
Well, he's bombing them. I love it.
That's in Venezuela, yeah. And so if you're doing that, you're shutting down a massive revenue source. Plus, the source of really the violence, right? The cartels are the army of the deep state.
Right.
So you're getting rid of their army. And you're going after the foreign students who are ringleaders,
Yes.
right? For foreign terrorist organization.
Getting paid.
Right? Who are in cahoots working with their America's enemies within, right? You shut down USAID, although I did see an alarming headline in the Washington Post today,
saw
which
it
said
too.
the temporary pause
Right.
of payments, which is how they see everything, until there's real indictments and real accountability. So if you're going after those people, you're sending your foreign ringleaders, your your foreign-born operators that are here on visas, you're sending them back. Plus, you're rounding up Antifa as foreign terrorists who are your trained agitators, trained to incite, and so on and so on. So, and then you're cleaning up violent cities. Well, those violent cities are hotbeds of terrorism, and where much of your command and control is located.
Right.
For both your Islamic political networks that are working alongside your Marxist networks, that are working with your Chinese Communist Party, that are working with your, the cartels. So when you start to
and then they all work with the nonprofits, tastemakers
That's the
that
funding.
get on CNN.
The money laundering, the funding, the legal representation, the infrastructure, the organization, the movement of people across state lines, the infiltration politically of your local offices. But that's not really going to help you much, because if you're now dealing with terrorist charges versus a local misdemeanor that someone, district attorney in Portland, is not a snowball's chance in hell they intend to bring those kind of charges, right? But now you've got terrorism charges from outside. So you can see that it is possible Trump is setting the stage for indictments, because you might not be able to burn cities to the ground if much of your funding, infrastructure, and foot soldiers and your command and control networks have been shut down.
We got to get a stronger DOJ too, it seems.
Oh.
That's what everybody today's talking about. Oh, bye-bye, Pam. Everybody's saying it.
But I get suspicious when I see that, when I see everybody saying it, right? Because, wouldn't they love you? If you were running a deception operation right now, wouldn't you be just fine with them hating Pam Bondi and calling for her removal? Because as long as they're all doing that, they're not really paying attention. And why is it that the left and the right are unanimous in that? That tells me that the left doesn't want you to get rid of Pam Bondi because she's ineffective. They want to get rid of her because she is effective or could be effective. The right is being seduced by this narrative that Pam is ineffective, but is she? I don't know.
I don't know either.
And I try to always be conscious of what I don't know as a journalist, And also, though, when people start acting as if they have all the answers, I'm like, yeah, but you didn't get elected.
Right.
Right. It's great that you have all the answers, but there's a lot you don't know,
Well, they're saying October's going to be a big one, so we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to pray and read all we can, talk to each other.
Eat, pray, love.
Eat, pray, love.
And keep the pressure on.
I hated that book, Eat, Pray, Love. And when I wrote my book, one of my chapters is called Eat, Pray, Love, Shit, and Shower. But
that's a much more accurate and complete version.
But yeah,
I by design cannot read books written Eat, Pray, Love. I just can't do it. Any haiku stuff and self-help stuff. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
I got that from my parents, great wisdom passed down. Had it beaten into me by my siblings. And then someone very handily turned me towards the instruction manual, which comes direct from God himself.
Right.
And I find that pretty useful.
It is useful. Praying about stuff really helps you. You want to pray that your discernment, you want to pray for discernment, that you can feel peace when the answer hits you. You don't keep searching because you feel like, wow, this makes sense to me now.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research. I studied both sides, all 50 sides, and I'm going to synthesize it. Sleep helps. A lot of times you figure stuff out in your dreams.
Yeah.
And get calm.
Peace is an interesting word that you chose there. Because I think for me, after I'm only 54, I know you're 72, I defer to your knowledge and experience and your wisdom acquired over those 18 years ahead of me. But at the same time, I wonder, for me, I've come to realize that a lot of things in your life are about finding peace. I can never be okay with my mother's death, but I can make peace with that reality. I don't have to fight it in agony every day, every minute of every day, the way I did for 10 years.
I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah, acceptance, and you still You're still going to live. You're still going to learn.
Yeah.
You're still going to grow. And the thing is, my dad said something to me when I was a kid that I do think of every day. Nobody can stop you from getting better. Don't you love that?
That's beautiful. I'm going to steal that one.
Yeah, it really helps
Nobody
a lot.
can stop you from getting better.
Getting better at the piano, getting better at, anything, and getting better inside
Only
yourself.
Right?
Yeah.
Only you can stop that.
Yeah.
If you choose not to, or you give up, or you can't see it, or you lose faith in yourself.
Yeah, keep trying to get better, because that's what the real reason we have a Bible or the Torah or the words of God or the scriptures is to dig a little deeper inside yourself and try to connect more deeply to our source, to get a better connection. Like when we were kids, we used to have the antenna on the TV to try to get a better picture, but try to connect deeper inside yourself to God. Try to work on the fine tuning. Try to get better. Try to get better at it, so it's not so hard to get there. Like it's not so hard to tune into the peace that offers you when you're really in tune with your own soul and where it comes from, where it's going to go.
You didn't grow up with that kind of peace. I mean, you had a pretty harsh upbringing, right? It's interesting that you grew up in Utah surrounded by Mormons.
Yeah.
As a Jewish person, that's pretty unique in the first place.
Well, and also in an apartment house filled with survivors of the Holocaust.
Wow.
So it was like level upon level.
Yeah.
On Passover, we sing this song in the Passover Seder. And there's a song near the end, which us kids always waited for, because we do the long Seder like it was like 6 hours. Wow. Oh, it was unbearable. But at the very end, we got to sing this song called Dayenu. And it's a praise to God, but it goes, had God not freed us from the bonds of slavery, that Dayenu means that would have been enough for us. But had he not led us over dry land and split the sea, that would have been enough to us. Had he not led us, had he not fed us manna, that would have been enough. Had he not led us to Zion, that would have been enough. It goes on and on. But me and my sister, we made up our own words and we said, had God not made me a Jew in Utah, that would have been enough. Or had he not made me a fat girl among skinny Mormon girls, that would have been enough. And we go on and on. But we had it to be a funny song. But and I used to feel so sad and isolated, stranger in a strange land. But all of that exile, or feeling exiled, so different, like an alien from another planet, really.
Yeah. Forces you, though, to know who you are, right? To confront who you are.
Well, it made me funny. So what a gift. It made me funny. I would probably never been funny if I had it easy.
Was that your get out of jail free card? Was that you had to laugh your way out of things?
I did. It gave me the American dream to write a joke. I mean, it's a miracle. I came from such poverty. But look what it gave me. I got my own big old ranch out here in
I love your
Texas.
place.
Isn't it cool? It's peaceful and lovely. I have 10 grandkids, thank God. I couldn't have a better life. I couldn't have more blessings. I couldn't have more lovely people that love me. I mean, oh my God. It's a miracle. It really is. And I remember it every day. And knowing you is a blessing and a miracle too. You're a great woman. I love you.
You're a great woman and I love you.
I know you do.
Thank you, Roseanne. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're close.
Yeah, I know.
Now
we got a yeehaw one night. I mean, we got to go to Lukenbach and dance.
But you have to stop running off to L.A.
Well, I'm not going back. I had to go get my mom in a home for the insane. No, she had to go. She had to go
She's
get
gonna be
in
mad at
a
you.
nice, really lovely retirement place where she's loving it. But we got to go to Lukenbach and do some dancing.
Go and do it. Well, you got your boots on, so
I
you're
do.
ready.
I want to dance. I haven't danced in a while.
Well, your wish is my command.
All right, we will do it.
Yes, we will do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here. Thank you for everything that you have done. I mean, your wisdom and your strength really comfort people. This has been a difficult time, and I know a lot of people are forced into an uncomfortable space, of realizing you have to really fight for what you believe in, and your willingness to storm right through all of that, and to still, you're like Joan of Arc, with the flag raised, and it means an enormous amount to people.
America is all that stands between the utter darkness of this whole planet and really the light that comes from God. America is all. And I'm not going to let it go without a lot of yelling from me. I mean, look what I got from it.
Yeah.
Look what my family got. They killed most of us in the Ukraine, but I got here, and I'll be damned if, they may take it. It may be whatever. I hope not. But as long as I'm here, I'll be fighting.
I have absolutely no doubt, and I'll be right there with you in
I
the
know
trenches.
you will.
I'll be passing you the ammo.
Or I'll pass you the ammo. But I am one hell of a shot, as you know.
I do know.
I love you.
Thank you so much, Roseanne. I love you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being bold enough to go rogue with Lara Logan and
We're
the
going
formidable
rogue, bitches.
the formidable Roseanne Barr. Like, share, subscribe, support us if you can. We cannot do independent journalism without you. We cannot do this show without you. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Lara Logan. Thanks for going rogue.